Hi, everybody. This is Elenbaas from Nightlight Astrology. It's Wednesday, May 1st today, and I'm sitting down to tell you a little bit about my upcoming online astrology course. So I teach a one-year online astrological certification course. It teaches you how to read birth charts for people, and it teaches you how to use the language of astrology to study your own birth chart and to have as a kind of tool really for the rest of your life. There's three benefits that I want to talk about today to promote the program, right? The first one is that if you're feeling like I'd like to learn more about astrology, but I don't know where to start, or I don't know how to get more serious or how to delve deeper, a lot of people will say, what books should I read? Or something like that, or what online resources are there? Because most of us at this point are thinking, well, there's no astrological universities really. I mean, not any accredited ones. There's a ton of information out there, and I don't know where to start or what to turn to or what's true and what's not. That's really overwhelming position to be in. So the benefit of taking a course with a professional who has a lot of experience and practice, like myself and like other good courses that are out there, is that you get someone who has sort of bushwhacked, and done a lot of work learning about the different kinds of schools of astrology, the different ideas, methods, theories, spiritual philosophies behind the theories, and so forth. So having a guided, structured program with a professional who's been seeing clients like myself for 10 years and who's taught a lot of students, who's guided people through a lot of programs, who's trained other astrologers, that's a really great, that's the kind of credential that you want, whether it's me or any other astrologer. If you're thinking of going deeper with your astrology, having structure and guidance is the number one benefit of taking a serious apprenticeship course. The basic way that most people learn astrology is either through being self-taught, just going out there, and then you get your head filled, honestly, with a lot of garbage, and until you find more rigorous, eventually you find your way, like a honeybee, you find your way to the nectar, you find your way to where really good astrology is happening. And then you start learning meaningful distinctions. You start learning about the history. You start learning about philosophy, different forms of astrology. You start seeing the whole thing a little bit more clearly, and you start defining yourself a little bit more clearly. But that takes a lot of time. So a course like mine is designed to give people those differentiations. The course is a course that is specifically focused on Hellenistic astrology, which is ancient Greek Enrollment astrology. But it's obviously it's tailored for life in the modern world and meeting and talking with people who are your, average ordinary people with everyday problems and questions. And how do you speak with people in a heart-centered, healing context where this experience, you can use the beautiful accuracy and richness of ancient techniques and philosophy to inform your practice. But at the end of the day, you're not, you're not trying to be antiquated or super fatalistic or anything like that. So the course is meant to teach you ancient astrology, but to do so in a way that prepares you to read for people in the modern world. Now, for some people, you may not be taking the course because you really want to be an astrologer. You're taking the course because you love astrology and just want to go deeper with it, or you're looking for a change in your life. There's two great reasons to take the course that are kind of one and the same, and that's if you're not seeking to become an astrologer to read for other people, but you want to go deeper with astrology anyway. The reason that that's often a really good idea is because you're going to start learning about astrology primarily with your own birth chart in the first year. You're going to look at your own birth chart a lot. And in doing that, you get to know yourself, and oftentimes you'll reach a deeper level of understanding about your life path. So many people have taken my programs, and it's not that they go on to be professional astrologers, but it's that they're receiving a transformational experience that's very valuable by immersing themselves in a subject that they like and in a subject that is helping them become more self-aware. So that can be really valuable. But I've also, a lot of people that come out of the programs practice part-time, some even full-time. It's kind of a rare thing to be called to astrology to do it full-time. But a lot of people who take the program read for other people part-time, and it can be a nice supplemental source of income. So at any rate, having structure, guidance, and personal attention is also really important. If you resonate with my work, if you just are like, yeah, Adam's one of my astrologers, if I'm on your list or whatever, the benefit of studying with someone that you like, that you trust, whose astrology that you like, is that's where the transmission comes from, right? So everything that I've studied in books and online and stuff like that has never meant nearly as much to me as the courses I've taken where I've had one-on-one time with my teachers. Those are the experiences that have really lasted. So having structure, having guidance, and having personal, long-term, committed conversation and contact with an astrologer that you like, or whose methods and ideas you generally resonate with, if I don't drive you crazy, you know what I mean? So the course is also structured for people of all levels. If you're brand new to astrology, you can start this program and be fine. If you've studied astrology for a long time, but you've never studied classical astrology, you've never gone back to the roots to take a survey of the whole history of astrology, the different schools, the different beliefs and practices, how they all changed and grew over time, this course gives you that. Plus, it gives you a really strong foundation in classical techniques, traditional techniques. Another reason, this is really the second reason, all of those were sort of camped under my first reason. Second reason is that people need to see astrology actually being done with other people in order to get that transmission. So when you're learning, if you're just reading books, you're just online, or even if you take workshops or go to conferences and things like that, there's really no substitute for learning with someone and then seeing that person take what they teach and actually seeing how they use it in readings with other people. That's something that I try to do in every program that I've done for almost 10 years now. So when you are in my class, you learn a lot of theory. You have a lot of great community conversation. It's very live and dynamic. It feels like family. Everyone always says that. I'm a Cancer, so I try to create a pretty homey, safe feeling vibe. But you also get to see the last third of the program, the last 10 classes and the 30 classes on the year are all live clients coming in. I'm reading for them. You're seeing it done. You're seeing how my wheels turn and make choices and use the techniques we study. And then we're talking about it, and you're getting solid experience in the context of a reading so that you can take something of that and bring it into your own practice or your own continued studies, or even in working with your own chart in years to come, because it's kind of an invaluable, it's like having a different kind of a GPS in your car to know astrology. It's very helpful as a life tool. Most people also need to feel, reason number 3, that they've accomplished something or invested in something in order to really get the most out of it. So I can also tell you that when I'm 10 years in, I'm still taking apprenticeships. I have an apprenticeship that I'm taking right now in horary. When you invest something in your studies that's a little bit more extensive, whether that's your time and energy or your finances, you get back more from it. This is a karmic truth of life, but it's also very practically speaking, you'll take pride in your education. One of the things that people say who complete the course and go through the whole thing and take the exam at the end, it's optional, of course, but if you go through the whole thing, people say, I feel like I've learned so much. And it is designed, the course is designed to push people to exceed their own personal limitations, to grow your mind and to really develop you into being capable of sitting down and reading some charts. It takes a lifetime to develop as an astrologer. It's not like you leave my program and like, oh, I'm an expert. But a lot of people leave the course and they start doing readings for people. Some people come into the program already doing readings for people and they're just deepening their knowledge. But walking away, having made a deep investment in your time, your energy, and your love for astrology, taking it to the next level, is usually something that nobody regrets. And it usually is something that will really deeply help and facilitate your confidence in doing astrology for others. So those are a few good reasons. Now, I want to show you where you can sign up if you're interested. So the course is still open, still enrolling. It starts June 9th. It meets on Sundays from noon to 2 p.m. Eastern time, starting, like I said, June 9th. It meets via Zoom, like webinars. All the sessions are audio video recorded, so you can watch them later. If you don't have time or your schedule conflicts with the meeting time, you can participate remotely. The only thing that's not optional is at the end of the year, if you're going to be certified, you have to take an exam at the end, which is reading a chart. There's a chart, an anonymous birth chart, a bunch of questions about that chart. You answer those questions. If you pass that, knowing how to use the theories that we've studied over the course of the year, then I give you a certification. The certification really doesn't mean anything, just being honest. Certification is just my formal way of recognizing you went through a difficult program for a whole year. You did well. You passed a hard test at the end. Not so hard, but hard enough to know that you were present and you followed along and understand the concepts. So that's what the course is all about. We go through a lot of different things. If you have questions about the curriculum or anything that we cover, you can check out my website, nightlightastrology.com, and check out the certification course tab. Most everything is covered there that we cover in class. Every week, there are optional guided homework assignments, from reading and quizzes to additional audio video bonus material, group forum questions and conversations that are always taking place throughout the year. There's always lively community interactions. I have many students who end up forming private study groups together. It's a really fun year together. You can also email me year-round with questions that you have about what we're studying. I always answer. I always spend more time with my students. So that's the gist of the program. There's a lot more that can be said. There's a lot more details. So it's 30 classes plus 12 guest lectures that I host through my seasonal speaker series. So it's technically 42 classes on the year. Now, if you want to join, there are a number of different payment options. The one-year tuition with a 12-month plan is $1,800. The early bird rate, if you pay in full anytime before June 1st, so you have about a month right now, is $1,299. That's a really nice save. That's like $500 savings. So that's a really great way to go if you can go that way. Sometimes people say, I just want to try the first 6 months. I do have a 6-month option where you can do $1,000 with a 6-month payment plan, or the early bird rate is $699 if you pay in full. If you would like to take the program, but you are a full-time student, you are a single parent, you are unemployed, you're working only part-time and experiencing some kind of hardship, you're not able to hold down a full-time job for some reason, you are low income, retired, disabled, something like that, if you need help with tuition and you have legitimate reason for needing help, I do offer need-based tuition, which is $67 to $100 monthly that you can set your own budget. I just ask you to give based on an honest reflection of your budget. And if you want to apply for that, you can always email me as well at nightlightastrology@gmail.com. I don't think in 10 years of doing this, I've ever turned someone down who wanted to take the course for financial reasons, so long as they could commit to some kind of tuition payment on a monthly basis for the year. So the point of the course is, if you have the income, treat it like a good investment. I ask that people only use the need-based tuition if they actually need it. Otherwise, I can tell you this, that if you take the course seriously and you plan on reading for others, the early bird rate of $1,299 will pay itself off in 15 to 20 readings that you do for people in a low introductory rate that you're giving people. You know what I mean? So many of my students have paid off the tuition of their program very quickly afterwards by doing chart readings for people. So at the end of the day, to put it bluntly, it's a good investment if you're serious about astrology. If you want to take your love of astrology to the next level, it will it pays back in so many different ways. It's a really great course. I feel confident in saying that because I put a ton of love into it. This is, people see me, making things online all the time, videos, horoscopes, whatever. But for 10 years now, the thing that I've poured the most work into have been my classes. Before I was an astrologer, I taught college English for 3 years. And so my background prior to doing this was in teaching and in designing programs for a whole year long curriculums for different kinds of topics in English departments. So, again, I would love to meet some of you. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that are thinking about doing it. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, nightlightastrology@gmail.com. Hopefully this shameless self-promotion was interesting. And if you can't take it now, I do offer it usually every 6 months. So it'll come back again around the end of November, beginning of December. I'll be opening another section at that time. Oh, and one last thing. If for any reason you were to sign up for the program and something happened where you couldn't continue with it, or you found it too difficult or life got too overwhelming, once you pay for the program, you can retake it anytime in the future. So that's what I've got for you guys. Hope to see some of you in class soon. Take care. Bye.